Hello everyone. In this video we'll see about multiplexer and demultiplexer. First we'll see about multiplexer. Multiplexer means transmitting a large number of information units over a small number of channels or lines. A digital multiplexer is a combinational circuit that selects binary information from one of many input lines and directs it to a single output line. The selection of a particular input line is controlled by a set of selection lines. Normally, there are two n input line and n selection lines whose bit combination determine which input is selected. Now we will see the combinational design procedure for a multiplexer. The multiplexer, shortened to MUX or MPX, is a combination logic circuit designed to switch one of several input lines to a single common output line by the application of a control signal. Now we will see the objective of a multiplexer. A multiplexer is a combination circuit that selects binary information from one of many input lines and directs it to a single output line. The selection of a particular input line is controlled by a set of selection lines. This is the truth table for a multiplexer, and this is a block diagram 4 into 1 multiplexer, and this is a function table of a multiplexer, and this is the circuit diagram of a multiplexer. Now we'll move on to the next topic, multiplexer. The function of demultiplexer is in contrast to multiplexer function. It takes information from one line and distributes it to a given number of output lines. For this reason, the demultiplexer is also known as data distributor. Decoder can also be used as a demultiplexer. In the 1:4 demultiplexer circuit, the data input line goes to all of the AND gates. The data select lines enable only one gate at a time, and the data on the data input line will pass through the selected gate to the associated data output line. We'll see the combinational design procedure of a demultiplexer. Demultiplexer is a combinational circuit that performs the reverse operation of a multiplexer. It has single input, n selection lines, and maximum 2 power n outputs. The input will be connected to one of these inputs based on the values of selection lines. And now we'll see the objective of a demultiplexer. Demultiplexer is a circuit that receives information from a single line and directs it to one of two n possible output lines. The selection of a specific output is controlled by the bit combination of n selection lines. This is the truth table for a demultiplexer, and this is the block diagram for a demultiplexer 1 into 4 demultiplexer, and this is the function table of a demultiplexer and the logic diagram for a demultiplexer. Thank you. Hello everyone. In this video we'll see about flip-flops. First of all, we'll see what is flip-flops. A flip-flop is a sequential device that samples its input signals and changes its output states only at times determined by clocking signal. Flip-flops may vary in the number of inputs those possess and the manner in which the inputs affects the binary states. There are 4 types of flip-flops. They are SR flip-flop, D flip-flop, JK flip-flop, and T flip-flop. First we will see about SR flip-flop. The clocked RS flip-flop contains of NAND gates and the output changes its state with respect to the input on application of clock pulse. When the clock pulse is high, the S and R inputs reach the second level NAND gates in their complementary form. The flip-flop is reset when the R input is high and S input is low. The flip-flop is set when the S input is high and R input is low. When both the inputs are high, the output is in an indeterminate state. This is the characteristic table for SR flip-flop. Now we'll see what is D flip-flop. To eliminate the undesirable condition of indeterminate state in the SR flip-flop, when both inputs are high at the same time, in D flip-flop, the input are never made equal at the same time. This is obtained by making the two inputs complement of each other. This is the characteristic table of D flip-flop. Now we'll see about JK flip-flop. The indeterminate state in the SR flip-flop is defined in the JK flip-flop. The JK inputs behave like S and R inputs to set and reset the flip-flop. The output Q and AND with K input and the clock pulse. Similarly, the output Q is AND with J input and the clock pulse. When the clock pulse is 0, both the AND gates are disabled and the Q and Q dash output retain their previous values. When the clock pulse is high, the J and K inputs reach the NOR gates. When both the inputs are high, the output toggles continuously. This is called race around condition and this must be avoided. This is the characteristic table of a JK flip-flop. Now we'll see about T flip-flop. T flip-flop is a much similar version of the JK flip-flop. The state of the flip-flop is changed by a momentary change in the input signal. The momentary change is known as trigger, and the transition it causes is set to triggering the flip-flop. Pulses trigger clocked flip-flops. A pulse starts from the initial value of 0, goes momentarily to 1, and after a short while returns to its initial 0 value. A clock pulse is either positive or negative. A positive clock source remains at 0 during the interval between pulses and goes to 1 during the occurrence of a pulse. The pulse goes through two signal transition from 0 to 1 and return from 1 to 0. This is the characteristic table of T flip-flop. Thank you. Hello everyone. In this video we'll see about ring and Johnson counter. First we'll see about ring counter. Ring counter is almost same as the shift counter. The only change is that the output of the last flip-flop is connected to the input of the first flip-flop in case of ring counter, but in case of shift register it is taken as output. Number of states in ring counter is equal to number of flip-flop used. Now we'll move on to the next slide. This is the circuit diagram for ring counter. For designing 4-bit ring counter, we need 4 flip-flop. We'll move to the next slide. The input variables are RST and CLK. X is equal to clock can be either a positive edge or a negative edge. The output variables are Q0, Q1, Q2 and Q3. Now we'll move on to the next slide, and this is the truth table of the ring counter. Now we'll see about Johnson counter. The alternative name of twisted type is switch tail or walking or Johnson type counter. The complemented output of ending flip-flop is fed back to the input of starting flip-flop, where the stream of ones and zeros flow in the ring form. The twisted type counter uses two control signals like CLK and ORI, where CLK and ORI are common to all four flip-flops. We'll move on to the next slide. This is the circuit diagram. Now we'll move on to the next slide. Here the input variables are RST and CLK. If n number of flip-flops are used, then 2n number of states is required. The output variables are Q0, Q1, Q2 and Q3. This is the truth table for it. Hello everyone. In this video we'll see about VHDL program for half adder. First we will see the objectives of it. To understand the function and operation of half adder, to learn the modeling styles of half adder in VHDL, to synthesize and simulate half adder. Now we will see the theory of half adder. A half adder is a combination circuit that adds two 1-bit numbers. One of the two bits is the carry from the lower stage or a hardwired high or low bit. This is the symbol and truth table of a half adder. This is the logic equation. For sum it is a bar dot b plus a dot b bar. For carry it is a dot b. Now we'll see the modeling styles. The first modeling style is the data flow or concurrent modeling. This is the concurrent VHDL code to synthesize a half adder. Next we'll see behavioral modeling. This is the code for it. Now we'll see structural modeling. This is the VHDL code to synthesize a half adder. Hello everyone. In this video we'll see about shift registers. First of all, we'll see what is shift register. The shift register is another type of sequential logic circuit that is used for the storage or transfer of data in the form of binary numbers and then shift the data out once every clock cycle. Hence the name shift register. It basically consists of several single bit D-type data latches, one for each bit connected together in a serial or daisy chain arrangement, so that the output from one data latch becomes the input of the next latch and so on. Now we'll see about serial in parallel out shift register. The shift register which allows serial input and produces parallel output is known as serial in parallel out shift register. This circuit consists of 3 D flip-flops which are cascaded. That means output of one D flip-flop is connected as the input of next D flip-flop. As these flip-flops are synchronous with each other since the same clock signal is applied to each one. This shift register, we can send the bits serially from the input of leftmost D flip-flop. Hence, this input is called as serial input. For every positive edge triggering of clock signal, the data shifts from one stage to the next. In this case, we can access the outputs of each D flip-flop in parallel. So, we will get parallel outputs from this shift register. This is the truth table for serial in parallel out shift register. Now we'll see about parallel in parallel out shift register. The shift register which allows parallel input and produces parallel output is known as parallel in parallel out shift register. This circuit consists of 3 D flip-flops which are cascaded. That means the output of one D flip-flop is connected as the input of the next D flip-flop. All these flip-flops are synchronous with each other since the same clock signal is applied to each one. In this shift register, we can apply the parallel inputs to each D flip-flop by making preset enable to 1. We can apply the parallel inputs through preset or clear. These two are asynchronous inputs. That means the flip-flops produce the corresponding outputs based on the values of asynchronous inputs. In this case, the effect of outputs is independent of clock transition. So, we will get the parallel outputs from each D flip-flop. Thank you.